let's just keep it with the fans, my dude.
Let's
just keep it with the fans. The fans
that's
out
what,
here
that's what it's all about.
Are on a roller coaster right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Debo thing is just one in a bunch of ups and downs. It's been this free agency. A lot of fans, there's a lot of, popular commentators on the team, popular fans that are out here in a consistent basis creating this narrative that the 49ers have failed this offseason, that the team is actually worse than it this year than it will be last year, and that this team doesn't want to win.
Okay.
Are those people over exaggerating the offseason for the 49ers?
No, because they haven't seen they haven't been able to see what the pieces that we brought in. They haven't been able to see it in action. So you can't be mad. I'm not mad at the overreactions. I think the overreactions are fair and valid, right? We also lost Laken Tomlinson, a Pro Bowl guard. You also lost DJ Jones, who had his best season as a 49er. And then we replenished with DJ Jones with some depth, Hassan Ridgeway or whatnot. And you got guys coming back. They re-signed Kevin Givens and then some of these other players. And then when it comes to some of the other players that, Laken Tomlinson, now we're going to be putting in a second-year guy that everybody in their world and their mama thought was a freaking draft dud, and Aaron Banks. And until Kyle Shanahan came out and said at the players' meeting, the owners' meetings the other day, Aaron Banks is looking good. We were ready to start him week, whatever, but we didn't want to break up the continuity of the offensive line. So it's like the fans just don't know. I mean, only thing I can suggest to us, the fans, is just have faith. Have faith that the team is going to be just as good because of the coaching. How about that? Right. And even that's different. Even the coaching is different, right? But have faith that Kyle Shanahan is putting together or whipping up a game plan, the best game plan for the players that he currently has. And don't forget, they are still going to draft, and they can still address issues in situations in free agency, because there are ways to still sign players with zero money. They can figure it out. And don't forget, Samson Ebukam, if they like him, he can be extended, or he can even be cut and save $6.5 million. You get what I'm saying? And Jimmy Ward can be extended as well. So when you make him a 40, hey Jimmy, how about you just become a 49er for life? All right, cool, no problem. All right, we're gonna lessen your $9 million, give you $3 million this year, and you'll make it up in 3 or 4 years. You know what I'm saying? So there are ways for the 49ers to still address situations in free agency. And so I can understand why the faithful is overreacting. And I'm with it 100%. I'm not overreacting because I feel like the team is doing one thing and one thing only. They're finding ways to build depth. And not just regular depth, the right depth, because they've lost the Super Bowl because of depth, and they lost that NFC Championship because of depth. And when I say depth, I mean rotations. Guys were freaking gassed. We watched the defense 2 years in 2020 and 2019 and 2020, we watched the defense be gassed in the Super Bowl to where they couldn't even make a play. You want to blame it on the defense? Fine. They couldn't make a play because they were gassed. They were running with their backs turned around. They didn't know, they couldn't sub. They couldn't do anything. And yet Jimmy Garoppolo couldn't go down there and lead the team to victory. It's because the Kansas City defense adjusted. They had energy. They had depth, and they ended up sealing that deal. And so the 49ers ended up losing to the Rams because of depth. Because of depth. They thought that they were going to come out and punch the Rams in the mouth. The Rams were doing what Kyle Shanahan does. Run to the outside, throw to the outside, spread the ball, laterally opposed to vertically. That's how you tire out a defense. They did our game plan to us. We lost that game.
Right. And I understand the emotion of the fans, especially when you see what the Chargers have done and what the Raiders have done. I think people wanted them to just swing big for the fences. Even the Rams brought in some big names, even though I don't think the Rams necessarily got better. I think they actually got worse when you look at everybody they lost compared to who they brought in. But I think the team has gotten better, actually, Wayne. And I like what you said. I even take it a step further. I think this team has gotten better. And, this team last year lost 5 games in the regular season by 1 possession. And so you're talking about that's the difference between being a 5-win team, a 10-win team, or a 15-win team, right? So, or actually a 10 or a 15, because they already lost those games, right? So, what's the quickest way to fix 1 possession games? Well, you look at where's the worst phase of our team that could help make the offense better, that could help make the defense better, special teams, right? They were ranked 29th in the league, Wayne, at starting field position. So now you go out there, you get a specialist in Ray McLeod. You go out there and you get Odom. You get the guy that they got from Green Bay, the guy that they got from India. The names are slipping my mind right now. But you go out there and you just make special teams now a strength. You bring in a new special teams coordinator. If even they could go from 29th to middle of the pack, meaning now instead of averaging starting at the 25, 26 yard line, they're starting at, let's say, the 30, 35. That's 10 extra yards. That's 10 yards closer to the field goal range. That's 10 yards closer to the red zone. And you just upgrade the quarterback. Now you're talking about 5 games. If even, let's say, 60% of them turn into wins, you're a 13-win team, number 1 in the NFC. Right? So I look at it and I see where players like, oh, you should have just got a stud edge. Absolutely, that would have been great. Oh, you should have gone out there and got stud linemen. Absolutely, that could have been great. But they looked at it and they said, let's get younger at cornerback and go out there and get a guy like Charvarius Ward who plays the style that we're trying to change to and doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He doesn't get penalties called on him that much. Think about what he could teach the other corners there about how to play without having penalties, right? That's a big deal. And then go after special teams, make that a strength of your team versus the biggest weakness. Now, all of a sudden, all of these premium players are another year older, another year in the system, another year, with the momentum of playing in the NFC Championship game. I just think people are over exaggerating, my dude. I think that people don't realize that this is a killer team. Like, they're still that team, and they're even better than they were last year. That's in my opinion.
And that's all valid points. I mean, if you want to say we got better at one position, it was definitely, on special teams. I mean, and it starts with getting a new special teams coach. That's where it started. It started with saying, you know what? I can't have my special teams coach getting outwitted by fake punts and fake field goals in the same damn season. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it started there. It's unfortunate he's no longer going to be with us, but it is what it is. The 49ers got a new special teams coach. And then from that, the special teams coach started adding players that he felt not only could contribute to special teams, but can contribute to the rotation that you may need. All right. And so, yeah, I felt like you said they got better. They did get better on that from that aspect, but they also lost a key cognitive piece to their offense, and they lost another key to their defense. Now let's talk about what we're getting back. And so I think a lot of the faithful forget about Javon Kinlaw. Oh, because he's always injured, blah, blah, blah. Listen, if he's not injured and he plays, get ready. That's all I'm going to say. You know what I'm saying? As far as the offensive line, I'm not as concerned about the O-line as everybody else. Trey Lance has played with this unit. He's played with the second and third string unit. Guess who's going to be some of the starting offensive linemen this year? The second and third string unit. Aaron Banks, maybe Jalen Moore at the right guard position. Slide Daniel Brunskill over the right tackle or Colton McKivitz over the right tackle until Mike McGlinchey comes back. That's another issue. We're paying $11 million for an injured Mickey Ficky. That ain't cool. Because it's guaranteed.
And like you said with Kinlaw, a lot of people are writing off Aaron Banks, but they try to put him at his unnatural position, which the 49ers love to do, right? They love to take young guys and play them out of position in their first year or whatever the case may be. And he's going to move into left guard where he was drafted. He had the second round rating. I think he'll be fine.